Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of I Am Essence, where we share tips and feature incredible guests who help us transform and align with our best selves. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Brooke Buettner, who is a NASM certified personal trainer and college student studying exercise science. And we are going to be talking about a very fun, exciting, and one of my absolute favorite topics: fitness, health, and wellness. So, Brooke helps women become the strongest and most confident version of themselves. About 3 years ago, she discovered her passion for fitness after being a dancer for many years, and now inspires women to move their bodies in a healthy way through all of her social media platforms. She loves helping others along their fitness journey and cannot wait to hopefully become a helping hand in yours. She believes beauty stems from within and encourages her audience to love all areas of themselves no matter where they are in life. Well, hello, Brooke. Welcome to I Am Essence. I'm so excited to have you here and literally chat about one of my favorite topics. How has your day going? How's moving going? Because I know your semester is just about to start.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm doing great. Moving is definitely a process, but it's coming along. Yeah, I'm so excited to dive into everything and to be on this podcast. Thank you for having me.
You are so
Yeah.
welcome. So, when did your whole fitness journey begin? I know you grew up as a dancer. Were you always into fitness? Was this part of your day-to-day routine being within the dance community?
So I started off dancing. My mom threw me into dance when I was like a toddler.
Oh,
And then I continued dancing up until I think I was about 15. And I was absolutely obsessed with it. I thought that I was going to go to college to dance. I thought that this was going to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And then burnout happened.
yep.
And whenever I got into high school, I just started realizing that I didn't feel like going to dance anymore and I was falling out of love with it. I tried sticking with it, but eventually in the end, I was just like, I just don't think it's the right path for me anymore. And that's also something that I love with fitness is that
Mhm.
I feel like different types of movement serve you in different
Yes,
points of your life. So when I was,
absolutely.
yeah, so whenever I was younger, that was a great way to get my movement in and socialize with other people, be creative, and do something that I really loved. And then as I got older, it kind of transitioned into something else. So I took about a year of not doing literally anything.
Mhm.
So I was pretty much sedentary, and I felt like crap because I was used to dancing like 4 to 5 times a week. And when I stopped, my mental health plummeted like
Yeah.
crazy. I have always struggled with OCD and anxiety, and having some form of exercise really
Mhm.
helped just calm those thoughts. And it really just helped in general.
Mhm.
So whenever I stopped, it just worsened like crazy. And I didn't realize that was why. So my mom noticed, and about a year later, she asked me if I wanted to go to the gym with her. She wanted to join a gym, and there was one close to our house. So I went with her. And I started, honestly, at first, I just wanted to do it to be skinny.
Mhm.
And I mean, obviously, looking back at that now, I'm like, ew, why was I thinking that way? But that's what it was. So I went and I started to really like it. I was just doing cardio and then just like random
Mhm.
strength training machines.
Yep.
I had no idea what I was doing, but I thought I knew it and I thought I knew everything. I thought I was just doing everything right. But so I started off and then I started to become a little obsessed with it. So I have a background with disordered eating, and it's something that I'm still healing, and something that I'm still working on to this day, because I feel like it's kind of a lifelong process once you experience something like that. But I kind of got obsessive with exercise and also with food. And it was a bit like orthorexia in a sense, where everything I ate had to be really quote unquote healthy.
Clean.
Yeah. And everything had to fit into certain macros and whatever. But eventually my parents noticed. And after a while of being in that restrictive lifestyle and that disordered lifestyle, I eventually went to a center that treated eating disorders. And I just had an appointment there. I didn't stay or anything, but from then on, that's when my recovery kind of started. I didn't think I had a problem, obviously, but I knew deep down I did.
There's something.
Yeah. But I started recovering, and then I got sort of into lifting because it really helped to switch my mindset with food from seeing it as something to burn off or something to earn in the gym. But instead see it as fuel and see it as something that's nourishing your body. So that's where the lifting kind of came in, because I started to have so much energy and feel so much stronger as I was eating more food, and this lifting and being able to hit new numbers and become stronger and have food be such an important factor of that was really helpful in recovery. But yeah, so then I started lifting for about 2 years. I was like full force lifting, just trying to become really strong. And then lately I kind of hit a motivation plateau. And I felt like, it was just something that I wasn't looking forward to doing. And I have really good discipline, so I was still doing it, but it was just like, something's off.
It's not igniting that flame anymore.
Exactly.
It's like you're starting to fall into that burnout again.
And movement should always be a privilege and something that's a gift and not something that feels
like
forced,
a chore. Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of took a few months just doing an intuitive approach to exercise, which is something that I would have never done before, something that scared me so much. But I decided to do it because I was like, I'm not going to just keep forcing myself to lift if I'm not feeling it right now. I know that the motivation will come back eventually, but for right now, let's just explore. And I just took some time, like walking, running. I started exploring with yoga. I tried like little Pilates videos. I remember I did like a Britney Spears dance video, just like random stuff, trying things that I normally wouldn't choose to do. And it was so great. And I'm still sort of implementing those things that I discovered that I love during that time right now. So eventually, after those few months, I was really feeling like I really want to get back into the gym. Like I've had a lot of fun with this, but then my motivation sort of came back full force, and I decided, okay, well, what if I still lift and focus on strength training, but also incorporate the things where I feel like I was connecting movement more with my body and my mind, like yoga and just more lower impact things. So that's sort of what I've been doing lately. And I've been really loving it, but you never know what will happen in the future. That's the great thing about Fitness. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's always something to look forward to. But first of all, thank you so much for sharing your story and being open and vulnerable with the I Am Essence audience and myself. I
Sure.
value that so much. So thank you, first of all. And yes, everything you said about fitness is so true. It should be fun, inspiring, a way to celebrate who you are, your body, and not be something as a chore, just like you said. So going back to you when you were younger, when you were still dancing, did you ever struggle with self-confidence or body image in the dance community? So I grew up as a figure skater,
Mhm.
and I know from the figure skating world there is a lot of body image is very prevalent in the community, and a lot of times figure skaters do end up developing some sort of eating disorder where they're always comparing themselves to other skaters, or their coaches want them to look a certain way, when at the end of the day some people's bodies just it's not going to happen. So is that something that you also saw within the dance community as well?
Oh, 100 million%. And I think most of the girls that I knew and were in my classes experienced the same thing as
Mhm.
well. I mean, you are standing in front of walls of mirrors in tights and a skin tight
Yeah.
leotard where you can see everything, and you're just surrounded by a bunch of other girls your age. And when you're younger and you're looking up to these prima
Yeah.
ballerinas and these crazy dancers, and they all have these really long lines, very slender, very thin, um, just very similar body types is all I
Mhm.
saw, and what I thought was what was right, when in
Yep,
reality that's so far from the truth.
exactly.
um but yeah, I mean, I remember when I was little, my biggest insecurity were my thighs, and I thought they were
Yeah.
like ginormous. And I remember like looking in them, comparing myself to the other girls in the
Mhm.
class, being like, well, why do my legs look like this
Yeah.
and
I
theirs
went through
don't?
Yep, I went through the exact
Hmm.
same thing where I was always a bigger kid growing up. And so I could definitely relate wearing the same, like the tights and the skating outfits, and my sizes were always a little bit bigger than everyone else's, and I never understood. It's like, why don't I look like everyone else? Everyone else is tiny, skinny, and I went through the exact same thing.
Hmm. And I mean, also the a lot of ballet teachers and dance teachers in general, not all, and I feel like maybe in classes now there's definitely been a big switch and a
Hmm.
big change in that mindset, but I don't know because I haven't been in a class.
Yep.
But with my experience when I was younger, it was a lot of older teachers that had a lot of older values and a lot of older ways of thinking.
Yep.
So you would be at the bar and they would be like, I can see your lunch, suck that in. Say things like
Oh,
that. I remember one time my friend we were at like a 5 hour rehearsal, like whatever, like also hunger cues, like listen to your hunger cues
yep.
whenever. And my friend got out like a yogurt she packed and started eating it. And this teacher walks by and called her Miss Piggy. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's definitely, there's a lot of kind of food shaming,
Yes.
body, just like
Dysmorphia.
bad
Yep.
thought.
Yep.
Yes.
I
And
went
that,
through this. I experienced the same thing in the skating community.
mhm. So definitely, I think, I hope now that there has been a bit of a shift in the mindset in that area. But from what I experienced, I feel like that may have been a big source of um, body image issues and disordered eating patterns as I grew older. But yeah.
Yeah, I experienced very similar stories in the skating community. When I remember my coach at the time, so my parents never really deprived my sister and I of food, but within or even just at the rink, either the coaches, the moms, or just anyone else within the rink community, they would definitely deprive the other skaters. I remember my coach's daughter at the time was just eating a cookie. My coach went up to the daughter and just grabbed the cookie right out of her hand, saying, "No, like you can't eat this."
Wow.
And there were times where parents were so strict with their kids where they would send them away to skate camp, and the I guess the head instructor or the head coach of the camp, they would sit and count grains of rice
Mm.
for the kids to eat. And I think within the dance and or even just the sports world in general, we really have to, hopefully it is switching now, and say that no, food is fuel. In order to be a better athlete, a better dancer, a better skater, you have to be able to nourish your body, and that's really how you are going to perform at your best level.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree 100%.
So where do you, because now your fitness has changed a little bit from being a dancer going into the fitness industry. So where do you continue to look for inspiration, for motivation? Because you did mention that your you were strength training and then started to feel a little bit of burnout. So how do you continue to stay motivated?
So I think honestly, one of the biggest sources of motivation and inspiration for me comes from the other girls that I've met through social media in the fitness community. Whenever I first got onto social media and started my account, I wasn't sure how welcoming it would be. I thought that it was going to be honestly kind of a critical
Mm-hmm.
community. And I was really scared. But whenever I met all these amazing people that have other fitness accounts or they're on their fitness journey, it is just the most wonderful group of people. And if I post something on my story where
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, feeling kind of not into it today, whatever, I'll just get girls that I'm friends with that will swipe up and just say, "Oh, it's okay. Like, we all go through rough times. Like, love you, here for you if you ever need to talk." And things like that. I feel like that just keeps me going. And
That's
also seeing,
amazing.
yeah, and also seeing other girls' fitness journeys is so inspiring. Um, and just being able to cheer them on, them cheering me on, everything is just so inspiring. Another one is seeing old pictures, videos, and thinking of me in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and how far I've come. I mean, I'll be on Snapchat and I'll see my 2 years ago today. And I used to record like a lot of videos on my
Yeah.
Snapchat because I would like save storage. And it would be a video of me doing like a certain lift or doing a certain
Mm-hmm.
exercise. And I look back and I'm like, wow, like my form has come a really long way. Or
You are killing
wow,
it,
I'm
by the
thank
way.
you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, but it's just like, wow, it's crazy how much progress you can make. Um, Even just in form, even if the weight isn't going up,
Yeah.
just the way you perform the exercise, the way you feel it in your body. Yeah, I'd say those two things probably are the most inspiring. Yeah.
First of all, you are killing it. I've done your leg days. I've actually done quite a few of your workouts. And I remember not too long ago, I was doing one with my sister. I think we got about halfway through it. We're like, I think we're about to tap out.
Thank
And we
you.
did have to modify, but love your content.
Thank you.
But when you first started your fitness journey and starting to document it, were you scared at first to be vulnerable with others?
Totally. Yeah. And the biggest thing that I was scared of was, what are people from my high school going to think of me? And what is my family going to think?
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to some of my friends because I had been wanting to do it for a while, because even though I wasn't knowledgeable really about it.
Mhm.
I just loved it so much.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to start an Instagram for it. And I remember talking to my friends and being like, maybe I should wait until I'm like certified. Maybe
Oh,
I should wait until I get my certification. But then I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna make it.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Everybody always like wants to wait for the perfect time, but I'm so impatient. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe it is a bit uncomfortable, but I want to do this now. And I feel like I just want to do it now, and I'll grow and learn over time. And that's exactly what happened. Me, when I first started my account, was such a different me than where I am now. It's crazy to look at it and to look at what content I posted, just like the how I looked different, what I promoted, not like brand wise, but like like
Just who you
promoted
were and
yeah.
how far you've grown. And it's so inspiring to watch on the other end.
Thank you.
You're
That's
so
all
welcome.
I want to. Like I love inspiring people and helping people and meeting new people, chatting with them. I love whenever people DM me and ask me questions or say, hey, I tried your workout, and I did this workout at the gym, or this inspired me to do this, or I tried one of the recipes you posted. Literally, it like melts my heart and just makes me keep going. That's another huge inspiration and motivator. But yeah.
I love that. And it does, when you can have an impact on someone, it really does mean the world to you. And I think when you do different things from the heart, that's when you know you're on the right path. And when you get those little sparks of inspiration, like you just mentioned, you didn't know if this was what you were meant to do, but you knew you had to take action, and you don't know where it's going to lead. You just know that this is something I have to do. There are people out there that need this advice. So what advice do you have for women who are scared to start their fitness journey and may be intimidated to step foot in the gym?
So I would probably tell them that first off, nobody is judging you. And if anything, people are going to be looking up at you. I remember going to the gym for the first few times, and also just with my friends and family, it's a huge concern. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know what I'm doing. That's a big thing is people aren't 100% knowledgeable on what to do, when to do it, how much to do. And it's really intimidating at first. Um, but let me just say, like, as someone who is at the gym a lot, like, nobody there is judging you. If anything,
So
people are
true.
looking at you, feeling inspired and being like, damn, like, good for them in the best way possible. And so that's the first thing. Nobody's judging you. Another one is that I always encourage people to look at it as a sense of you're investing in your health. Um, it's your health is so important. And I know it's something that you can't physically see. And a lot of people do want to start working out for the physical appearance
Mhm.
side of it. And that can be a plus. But I think the bigger plus is just seeing how much it can impact your health, your mental health, um, and years down the road, whenever you're 80 and you want to be able to pick up your grandkids and walk around and do things on your own, like that's when you're going to see the payoff of
Exactly.
it. And that is so worth it.
It's so true because today's actions are really setting us up for tomorrow's reality. And when we are able to take action towards our health, and I always say your health is your biggest investment you can ever make. You are your biggest investment. And when we do look long term, we want to be able to enjoy life when we are older, when we're in our 60s, 70s, 80s. We don't want to be taking all these pills because who knows once we take one pill, we're gonna have to start taking a whole handful. And if we could,
Exactly.
if we could be as healthy as we can right now, it's really gonna set us up for a successful future.
Yes. Yeah. Um, Another one is that I saw somebody on Instagram say this, and it was to look at your like slot of time in the day that
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to exercise or your workout for the day, to think of that as like an appointment, to think of it as a doctor's appointment or a class you have to take. Like you're going to go to that appointment. You're not going to
Yeah.
miss that. You're going to go to that class. You're not going to miss it. Um, you're going to be dedicated to whatever else you have to have in your day, what else you have to do in your day. So think of it like that. Think about it as, oh, okay, I just have to go to this appointment and show up and have that dedication for yourself. And I think that's a great way to look at it. Um, and another big one is that doing anything is better than doing nothing. A lot of the time I see people starting out and they're like, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to only eat this, cut out this, do this. And that's not going to last. And just the small changes is what's really going to last. So just going for a 10-minute walk instead of doing nothing is like so much better. Or switching out just like one food for a more nutrient dense option is so much better. And those little decisions and those little lifestyle changes are what's going to impact your fitness long term, not those short little bursts of
Exactly.
really crazy full force. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And it's going to allow us to live a balanced lifestyle. And if we are kind of living with those blinders on, we're going to miss so many other great opportunities, start to lose relationships that can help us in the long term. And sometimes in that journey we start to lose ourselves, and that's when our motivation starts to also trickle off, and then we kind of hit that burnout. So how do you continue to live a balanced lifestyle?
So, living a balanced lifestyle was something that I definitely struggled with in the past. And just like you were just saying, when you are so restrictive and you're so just like focused on this
Mhm.
one thing
Because
and not really, yeah,
we all want to be great. We want to achieve our goals. But I feel that sometimes we do have to keep that open mind.
yes. Yeah. So I realized, especially as I started recovering, that living that super restrictive lifestyle, by doing that, I was missing out on so much life, and I was missing out on so much enjoyment and so many opportunities. Like, even if it's just my friends asking me if I want to go out to dinner, and then I'm like, oh, I can't do that because I already had this meal planned that fits into my calories and fits into all this and has my certain protein goal, whatever. Like I was missing out on life. And yeah, your
Mhm.
fitness goals matter. And yes, they are important. And it's a whole different story. I feel like if you're like not
Yep.
competing, competing,
Competing, yeah.
it's a whole different story if
That's
you're
a whole different
competing.
ball game. Yeah.
Yes, but if you are just trying to live a healthy lifestyle, enjoy movement, enjoy exercise, gain some strength, stuff like that, which I feel like is most people's goal, um, don't deprive yourself of those life experiences.
Mhm.
If somebody makes a cake for someone's birthday, you can have a slice. Like, allow yourself to have those things. Like, you should never feel restricted. And I think that's the most important way also to keep going on your fitness journey and to be in it long term. If you're so restrictive, you're going to fall off it.
Yeah.
And everything's just going to feel like I have to choose one or the other, when in reality, you can intermix them and create a beautiful, balanced life, just with small choices you make.
It's true. It's very, very true. And we have to be able to enjoy life because tomorrow hasn't come yet. So all we have is right now. So go celebrate your best friend's birthday. Hey, maybe you don't want to have the whole piece of cake, but take a bite. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
how do you continue to stay positive? And even if you do have I guess a bad body image day, are there days that you do experience that?
Yeah. So I definitely experience bad body image days a lot. And also days where I could start to notice my old thought patterns coming
Mhm.
back around restriction, obsession over like exercise and food. I do have those days. And I think the biggest way that I stay positive with it, and I'm not positive with them all the time. I mean, there are some times where it's just such an overwhelming feeling where you just kind of have to give it for a second and be like, okay, I just like need a minute.
Mhm.
Um, but on the days where it does feel manageable, it sounds a bit weird, but I like to kind of thank my feelings,
It's not weird at
because
all.
they're there for a reason. I
Yeah.
mean, the way I'm feeling about myself and this criticism and this need for control is my mind trying to tell me something. It's not just there, and it's not just, oh, this is bad, I need to not think about it. I used to try doing that all the time. I used to,
Mhm.
as soon as I heard myself talking bad about my body, I would be like, okay, shut up, like we'll redirect it. And now, I learned this from therapy, but just like sitting with your thoughts for a second
Mhm.
and acknowledging them and just trying to understand where they're coming from
Yep.
and the purpose they're trying to serve has helped so much. So like sitting there and being like, okay, thank you for telling me that we feel out of control, and that you're trying to do something to feel in control, and just sitting with it for a second. Another thing that helps is sometimes I'll literally just sit with like my hand on my heart and like over my stomach and just close my eyes and like tuck my chin in
Mhm.
and just show myself love, say like thank you for all that you do. You carry me throughout life. You allow me to walk upstairs, run, exercise, do everything that I want to do. Like thank you for healing yourself and doing all these things for me. And sometimes even apologizing to yourself for being so critical, because even if we don't consciously do it, your body is always there for you no matter what. And us being mean to it is has no purpose, but
It's
it
true.
still happens. Yeah.
It's true. And I think everyone goes through something like that. And we do have to give our bodies love and gratitude. And when we do experience those triggers, it's okay. We shouldn't bottle them up and kind of suppress them because it's only going to make things worse. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how has your fitness routine changed over the last few months, and what new lifestyle changes do you think you're going to start to implement since it has changed a little bit?
Okay. So I would say the biggest change is just in, I would say, like, I had a very strict weekly split.
Hmm.
So I would do like certain training on certain
Yep.
days. And over the past few months, I've become a lot more lenient with that because I want to implement different forms of activity. Like I've been walking a lot more, because it's beautiful outside. I
Exactly.
love I love going for walks. I love I was visiting home and my mom and I would just go for so many walks and just talk and talk and talk, and it's the best. So I love going for walks. I've been trying to run more. I've been loving yoga lately. So
Yes.
that's something that I've been implementing more. I'm probably doing it, I would say like 2 to 3 times a
Mhm.
week.
I love
But
that.
yeah, like the thing that I love about that is that working on the skills is like so fun to me. Like trying to do a headstand or a certain pose and like stay at it is really fun, trying to challenge myself and just do those things. And it reminds me of growing up in dance, trying to learn certain skills and tricks. So I love doing that. But yeah, I think right now I'm doing like 3 lifting sessions a
Mhm.
week. And then on the other days, I'll just kind of do what I'm feeling and do that intuitive approach. So maybe go for a run or a really long walk or do some yoga, whatever. Oh, I also have been loving jump roping because
Really?
yes, it's so
So
fun.
cool.
Yeah, it's like learning like little tricks and
Yep.
being able, it also like takes me back to like my little dance days
Yes.
because you could do little footwork and
Mhm.
go along with the music. So, and learn new tricks. So that's been fun. I want to try a lot of new things too. Like I follow this one girl on Instagram who's really into rock climbing. I'm like, that's really cool. I would
Yep.
love to try that. Um, I don't know, just random stuff I would love to try, but that's kind of where I'm at now. Yeah.
Well, go for it. And that is my best and biggest piece of advice. When you feel that inspiration, you are being led in that direction for a reason. Just like the inspiration you had to start your whole Instagram account, and look where it has led you over the last I believe 2 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Maybe a
just
little,
about two
about
years.
2 years.
Yeah.
It's been such an incredible journey to watch, and you are just so inspiring. So, but
Thank you.
I have one question. So do you do your own programming?
So the workouts that I post
Mhm.
are the ones that I'm doing for the most part. Sometimes
Yeah.
I will branch out and try to come up with something a little more creative. Um, but no, I mean, I would never like post a workout that I didn't do, you know.
Exactly.
Looking back on, I feel like I like posted stuff that was more like out there and like not really my routine when I first started because I thought, oh, like it's interesting, like people will want to see this. But I try to be completely transparent on my account, like on my leg days and stuff. Like it's usually 4 to 5 exercises. I start off with my compounds, and then do some accessory work, and it switches every like I'd say like 5, 6 weeks, or sometimes I'll
Mhm.
just do something completely different if I'm feeling it that day,
Yep.
especially now with like approaching exercise in a slightly different way. The one thing though that I don't really do are the ab workouts
Mhm.
because I just kind of intermix ab exercises into my workouts. I don't really just like sit down at a certain time and just do an ab workout. And also with like lifting and stuff, you build so much core strength and work your core so much during that. But yeah, I'll definitely post things that people request or people want to see. Um, but it just might not happen to be something that I'm specifically doing in my exercise programming at the time. Um, but yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. And your workouts are awesome. They
Thank
kick
you.
your butt. I know it
Oh yeah.
myself. My sister has said it, and they get the job done,
Oh
especially
yeah.
your leg days. So I have a fun question. So I don't know about you, but I love Buff Bunny. I watch her YouTube channel. And I was watching Heidi Summer's new YouTube video a few weeks ago. I guess now it's a few weeks old, but she was interviewing people and getting advice from different people, guys and girls, on how to either get your significant other do's and don'ts in the gym. So, what is your advice on either getting a girl or a guy in the gym, and what is something they should do and what is something they should not do?
Ooh, okay. Well, this is actually like a really relevant question to my life because okay, I've been dating my boyfriend for it's about to be 2.5 years.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah,
I
so
love that. So cute.
so when we first started dating, he went to the gym a ton. He loves working out,
Mhm.
whatever. And then about a year ago, he had like a really bad injury. He broke his ankle and he like tore a bunch of ligaments and stuff. And he pretty much had to stop working out completely. I mean, he still tried to do things. He tried to do like little push-ups on
Yep.
like one leg and stuff and pull-ups. And I was like, okay, go you. Like that's impressive. Um, but after that, it was really hard for him to get back into it full force because his ankle was still healing so much, and it still is to this day because it was a pretty big, he had to get surgery, he had to get
Oh
screws and like
no.
plates in it.
Yep.
So the recovery time was really long. And I mean, obviously, when your body's, first of all, taking so much energy to recover such a big injury,
Mhm.
and also when you're experiencing that pain, like you want to be careful with what you're doing. You don't want
Yep.
to go into it full force. So he still has been recovering, and um, he did take some time off. And I would keep telling him, like, okay, like get into the gym, get into the gym, get into the gym, and trying to motivate him. And he just recently started doing it again, but it was also hard because he started like a full-time job, and
Mhm.
that was like his first time doing
Oh,
that. He was trying to get a hang of his schedule and new life. So that was a whole different thing. But I think the main thing when you're trying to get your significant other into fitness or just doing something is, first of all, to be accepting and encouraging. Um, you never want to be critical of them. You never want the reasoning to be, oh, you're looking a little different lately, like you never want
yeah.
it to be coming from that sort of place. Like it should be coming from a place of them wanting to better themselves and better their health and invest in their health. And also, it can be something really fun and something like a really good bonding moment for a couple. So
Exactly.
that's a big one. Another one is to be really patient. Starting a fitness journey, especially if you're starting it brand new, never been to the gym before, it can be super overwhelming, and it's a whole new aspect of your life that's now incorporated. And I feel like sometimes people can be a bit impatient whenever they're watching someone else in their journey, but you need to realize that it's a huge thing and it's patience. Maybe just ask them, hey, do you want to come with me maybe one day a week? And I'll help you and I'll show you how to use everything. Or we could just do something fun. Maybe on the one day a week, we could go for a hike, or
Mhm.
we could do something, whatever you want to do. If you want to go to a certain workout class, I'll go to it with you. That'll be really fun. And just kind of being patient as they navigate their way through what they want to do. But yeah, I think that's my
I
advice
like
on that.
that. Absolutely. We have to be patient yet encouraging and continue to inspire others to be their best selves. And again, because all you do have at the end of the day is your health. And that's what it really does mean the most. And it's not about quote unquote looking good. It's really about feeling good because when you do feel good, you're going to end up looking good and you're going to look healthier. You're going to be happier. You're going to feel grateful and love too.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Also, like what I was saying earlier, how I kept telling my boyfriend, like, okay, like go to the gym, go to the gym. And the whole reason I wanted him to get back into it so bad, and I was trying to encourage him so much, was because he would tell me how crappy he felt and how he felt so out of shape, and he felt like I've never been like this in my entire life. Like I don't feel like
Yeah.
me. And I don't want him to feel like that. So I would try to encourage whenever I had a chance to try to do something. I would be like, oh, like, let's maybe go on a walk tonight. There's like little things like that. Obviously, nothing like mean or like, you need to get to the gym. But he also told me a lot. He's like, you need to be hard on me and you need to tell me and be like, Dean, you're being lazy, go to the gym.
But then you don't
So
want to come in a bad way either. So
exactly.
like either way, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's definitely a touchy subject, and it's a hard subject, but it is important. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. You are filled with inspiration. Well, before we wrap things up, so I always ask our guests two final questions. And the first one is, essence is a huge part of our brand. How do you define the word essence and what makes up your own essence?
Okay, so to me, essence is, I feel like, just who you truly are on the inside. I feel like it's just your heart shining through uniquely, whoever you are, and just all the beauty and love and whatever uniqueness you have to give. So my own essence, I feel like my essence is, I don't want to say strength as the first one, but I feel like maybe the most fitting. But just with life experiences and everything, I feel like that's a beautiful way to describe your essence, is just strong, and also just lighthearted. I love having a good time and laughing, and I'd say uniquely beautiful, because
I love
that.
Thank
you. Because we all have our own beauty inside and out, and just the little things that make us us. But yeah, I think that's how I would describe it.
I love that. And the way you portray yourself, even on social media, it is so raw, authentic, and just absolutely beautiful. So now, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, or any advice you want to share with us?
Okay. Okay, I just need 1 second. Okay. Okay, this may sound really cliche, and I feel like it's something everyone's heard already, but I feel like it's something that I just have to, like, I say to myself every single day, and it's just that everything will work out in the end. Time and time again, I see it happen in my own life. I'll have so much stress, so much anxiety about a certain thing or whatever, and then it happens and it's done, and it all ended up being fine. And even if it didn't end up being what I thought would be fine, it ended up that way for a reason. And that end result taught me something. And I am a believer that everything happens for a reason. And I think it's a great way to look at life. So that's probably my best advice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it is so true. The universe always is filled with incredible surprises that sometimes they don't go as planned, but it's always going to turn out in the best way possible for us. Yes. So please plug yourself. Where can we find you? What are all of your socials? How can we continue to stay inspired, empowered, and motivated by your beautiful self?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so my Instagram is at Body by Brooke B. And then my TikTok is at Body by Brooke B. So there's an extra B at the end. Those are really my two main socials. And then in my Instagram bio, I have a link tree that has just some of my other stuff. I started a YouTube a while ago that I like posted a few videos, and then I haven't been on it in a while just because I feel like that's not really the path for me. It's on there if you guys are interested. but I haven't posted on it in literally so long. But yeah, I also have a glute guide that's available. It's a 6-week glute guide. I'm thinking of coming up with another guide soon. So that might be coming out.
Be on the lookout.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, those are my socials.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on I Am Essence. It was such a pleasure having you and just a great time chatting about health, wellness, fitness, and really just becoming the best version of ourselves possible.
Thank you so much for having me. I had literally so much fun and I love talking with you. So thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you everyone for listening in on this week's episode here at I Am Essence. Don't forget to listen in next Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform. And if you are listening in on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review and we will see you next week.